After 7 days of testimony, closing arguments will begin today in the manslaughter trial of Betty Shelby, the Tulsa, Oklahoma police officer charged with killing Terence Crutcher in September. Yesterday, the defense rested its case after calling fellow officers and experts to testify in support of Shelby. On Monday, Shelby told the jury a training video of an officer being fatally shot during a traffic stop was running through her mind when she found Crutcher stopped in the middle of the road. She claims she shot Crutcher after she saw him reach into his SUV through a partially open window and assumed he was grabbing a gun. Crutcher was not armed. His family and attorneys claim the windows to the SUV were rolled up at the time of the shooting. Shelby also says she could smell PCP on Crutcher, although she never told Tulsa police that during her interview. She admitted to practicing her testimony more than 1,000 times since September with her attorneys. Shelby says she does not regret shooting Crutcher and claims that's what she was trained to do. If convicted, Shelby could face between 4 years to life in prison. I want to go to our panel. I want to start with Monique Presley, legal analyst, attorney with the Presley firm. It is clear, Monique, if you listen to what she had to say, she is leaning on training to get out of this shooting.
Yes, and I'm optimistic that that's going to work for her, unfortunately. It's one of those situations where the jury is going to be instructed to look at what was in the reasonable state of mind of the officer and what they were trying to do and what their experiences were at the time. And that's why, until we get these laws changed, we see case after case that do not come down in favor of what we think is justice, but where the jury is actually applying the law.
I want to go to our panel here. Ben Crump, of course, sent out an email to several people, and he said the Tulsa police officer David Walker admitted in his trial testimony under cross-examination that he's been over homicides since 2011, investigated more than 300 murders, and had never shown a suspect a video of the incident before interrogating them, except when he interviewed Betty Shelby.
Well, their training, Monique is right. The reasonableness standard is the mother's milk of police brutality. What would a reasonable person do? And like Monique said, once you can get that jury to put their entire lens in the hands of the police, well, in that case, then what the jury is saying is, well, I can't say because I'm not a cop. That's the lawyer strategy. Get them to trust what she's going to say and let her walk.
Absolutely. One step further, I've prosecuted criminal cases and defended them, and this jury instruction that they are often given, which it makes a distinction between a reasonable person standard for you and I, right? So even someone who may have mental illness will follow that reasonable person standard, but a reasonable police officer standard is very different. And when the prosecutor explains that to the jury, when the defense team explains that to the jury, it is very difficult to get over it, particularly when officers are already given a benefit of the doubt simply because of their position in law enforcement.
Well, you know, all of these shootings have been very tragic, and I think the importance of this one is that you have to look at all of these cases one by one. I mean, this is not a case of, you know, every police officer is bad. I think she, you know, her, as people have mentioned, her defense has been slightly different, that she couldn't hear the things going around her, that she was under kind of a personal trauma from the intensity of her training. And look, I mean, whether she's white or black, a lot of people, that's a believable circumstance for a mental state for someone.
Except there's a problem. Please show the video.
How about that?
Show me the helicopter video. I want to see the helicopter video. So here's the deal. There were other officers there, and she's the only one who reacted in terms of shooting Terence Crutcher.
But she has testified that at that point, she did not hear a single other, she did not realize.
Okay, hold up, hold up.
Right.
So her husband's in the helicopter, she don't hear a helicopter.
Right.
There's an officer literally standing over her right shoulder. Two more officers show up, but she don't hear or see none of them, Spencer.
I mean, have you ever been in a life-threatening situation? No, I can't say I have. I don't know. I'm not going to speak.
A life-threatening situation is not when a guy is walking like a zombie. Right. He's walking so slow. And that's that's the deal, Spencer. You show the video. This guy is walking very slowly.
And unfortunately, for For many,
Monique, 1 second. Monique, 1 second. Spencer, then Monique.
Unfortunately, for many black folks, being stopped by the police is a life-threatening situation.
That's right.
Monique.
No, a police officer is supposed to be trained to be in life-threatening situations. It's not a question of whether we've been in one. That's the place that the reasonable standard should work against them, not for them, because they are supposed to know how to listen and hear helicopters and observe the scene and perceive real threats and imagine threats. They're supposed to be able to do that. If she was poorly trained, if she had some sort of PTSD going on because of being frightened by some video that she had seen, then those are all flaws. That's failure of training. And in a civil case, that would help. I am concerned that in a criminal case, the standard is just too high because all you get there is recklessness.
All right. A peaceful protest turned deadly. 37-year-old black man was shot and killed by Baton Rouge police. His hands are in the air, and you still get shot by the cops.
Oh my God, please don't tell me he's dead.
We're not going to let hate define us.
Race is a big part of this.
If truly all lives matter, then all lives need to matter equally.
What we require is action. What we require is accountability. We understand that black lives do matter, and we will keep focused on this issue.
NewsOne Now, every weekday morning at 7 on TV1.